Frembd. And your first name?
Henry.
Henry, yeah. I'm good at remembering names, Henry. Len told me. So, I'll just leave this here then, and we can just talk back and forth.
Yeah,
You came in 1985?
my father did.
Yeah, 1985?
Yeah,
Or as a homesteader?
yeah. Well, no, it was a prospector.
Oh.
There was a gold rush on them days here.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He had a little sawmill down in Bellingham, and he just left that and came up here.
From Bellingham, yeah.
Yeah. Walked all the way.
They were tougher in those days, I think, than we are. Can you imagine us walking 150 miles like that with a pack?
No, not a. He said they had about a 7-pound backpack.
70, yeah. With just a rifle and maybe a few stocks
Yeah.
for food, huh? Oatmeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he came over, as I say, in '85. Him and Joe Gastillion. You heard of him?
No, I haven't.
His son turned out to be quite a famous lawyer.
How do you spell his last name?
I don't know.
What do you call it again?
Gastillion.
Istillion.
Yeah.
Istillion. No, I haven't heard that one.
And by the name of Johnny Amberdy and Blondin. They came over together,
Mm-hmm.
hiked over Fort Princeton,
Through the mountains.
through the mountains, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you were born here, were you?
Yeah, I was born within 27 miles of Princeton.
Were you born at Frembd Lake?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's still, there's still, on the map, it still shows your farm there, right?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. And there's trout in there too,
yeah,
in Frembd Lake, yeah. And you went to school here then?
yeah, I went to school. Tulameen.
Tulameen, yeah.
I went, well, first there was no school there. I went to school in Headley for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then moved back up when there was a school. I went to school in Tulameen.
Mm-hmm.
Drove 5 miles each day
Mm-hmm.
to school and back.
On your horse?
Mm-hmm.
You had your own horse then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever do any trapping or anything like that?
Very little.
No. I've been up in that area and I've heard a lot of coyotes when I was out at night.
Yes, you would hear them,
Yeah.
but they're darn hard to catch.
That's for sure. Do you know old Les Parolin? Les Parolin in Tulameen?
No.
He used to trap for those things too, and they
You
were.
don't mean that strip?
Yeah, Les Fripp. Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of his grandson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Les Fripp. Did you know
Yeah.
him? Yeah. Did you go to school together? Or?
I went to school with her, yes.
Yeah, with Nora.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what he says? You know what his joke is? He was professional trapper for a long time, but it took him 7 years to catch Nora. Yeah.
Well, there was somebody wrote a piece of poetry. Boys, you'll have to step with this young trapper in the game, and he's making quite a rep.
Well, his joke is that Nora was named a rabbit. You know, she was a
Yeah.
rabbit.
Yes.
Nora Rabbit, Nora. But he couldn't. It took him 7 years to catch a rabbit, so he wasn't a very good trapper. Rabbits aren't as wily as coyotes. You know, they're a little bit easier to snare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now I'll ask you a funny question, okay? What was the worst thing you did when you went to school? I can ask that. See, I was a teacher once, so.
Well, I don't know what the worst thing was. Well, I believe another kid and I got into a fight, and the teacher called us in and said, "Now you boys, you're in the fight, so you're going to lose your."
You're going to have to stay after school?
You're going to have to stay after school and lose your recess
Yeah.
for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
That hurt more than anything else.
I know. to lose your freedom, you know,
Yeah.
to get out. That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
You can write 1,000 lines, but it doesn't add up to the
No.
losing the recesses, because you can't be with your friends then. You're not out there with your friends.
No.
Well, what'd you get in a fight over?
I don't know, just kids.
Yeah,
Kids.
kids fight. Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't have to be much.
No.
A misplaced snowball or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ranch then as a that was your career as a rancher
Yeah.
and a logger maybe?
Yeah.
You did logging too, yeah.
And then finished. I sold the place in '43. We went to Vancouver and Scotland.
Oh yeah, yeah. You were a wood butcher.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that nickname, wood
Yeah.
butcher? Yeah. What kind of wood working did you do?
All
Framing,
kinds. All kinds.
finishing too?
Yeah.
Cabinets? Yeah.
Yeah, I worked for a fellow who was a contractor. He had 3-4 houses of bone.
Mm-hmm.
We had to finish them.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, the second year I worked for him, he says, boys, he says, I'm sorry to tell you, he says, but when you get through with this house, he says, that's the end of it. I've made my little pile.
He was pulling out.
Yeah.
What did you do then?
Well, I got a job with other
Yeah,
contractors.
yeah. That's kind of a hard thing though, isn't it? When you work for a man a long time and he says, I'm just pulling out.
Yeah.
I'm through with you guys. That's kind of hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as he said, he'd made his little stake and
Mm-hmm.
was satisfied with it.
He wasn't thinking much of you guys. Well, that's the way it goes, I
Of
guess.
course, I worked for him for 2 years,
Yeah.
and some of the others worked there longer.
Have you still got all your fingers?
Yeah.
That's a good carpenter that has all his fingers yet. Did you use power tools?
Yeah.
Power saws? Yeah.
Yeah. I cutting a chimney hole in a roof one time. Had a skill saw and it kicked back on me and come up my
Oh,
leg.
yeah, yeah.
Just missed my kneecap.
Oh, gee. But it cut your leg.
Oh yes.
Cut the muscle up
Yeah.
above here, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the worst thing that ever happened.
Well, I cut these 2 fingers, the thumb and this finger off
On your left hand.
on my left hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was monkeying around. I couldn't leave wood alone.
Yeah.
And monkeying around, I had a power saw of my own. Cutting a wedge or something and kicked back on me. And
Yeah.
fingers run through the saw.
Ugh. I've got a woodworking shop too at home. In fact, I taught woodworking for some time to kids, and I was always expecting some kid to come over and have a finger that was partially loosened from the rest of his hand
Yeah.
anyway. But knock on wood, that's a good expression for a carpenter, huh?
Yeah.
Knock on wood, nothing happened. No, I never did have a kid cut a finger off,
No.
so that was lucky.
Now, I had a kid one time, he running a sander and showed the board through like that and took all the skin off my fingers here.
Mm-hmm. And he picked them up later? Or was
No.
that it?
That was it, yeah.
A sander's a bad thing. It would
Yeah.
chew them too bad. They couldn't be sewed back on then.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about something a little more pleasant. What are some of your memories at the ranch, the Frembd Ranch? When you were a kid, you had a horse
Yeah,
and dogs?
yeah.
Cats, I suppose, too.
Cats,
Yeah,
cows,
yeah.
chickens.
Yeah. You ever have coyotes come in and get your chickens?
Yeah.
Yes, huh? That's what Nora and Les had a daughter, Trudy.
Yeah.
And Trudy's got the ranch now, the Rabbit Mountain Ranch. And they're having a devil of a time with coyotes.
Yeah.
Those darn coyotes are coming around and cleaning up and keeping them awake at night too, because the dogs in the ranch
Yeah,
bark at the
yeah.
coyotes, makes quite a ruckus.
No, the closest call I ever had that way was I was out on the range and I had the two dogs with me and treated a bear, and I shot the bear, and I just wounded him, and he come down out of the tree, and the dogs piled onto him, and he was just laying there. One of them had him by the throat and hit him by the rear end. They were pulling on him. I shot him. He's dead. He just got that yap and slapped me across the whole skin off here.
Hmm. Did the bears kill it, or did you have to kill it?
I shot him.
You finally shot him in
Yeah.
between all the dogs and the bears rolling
Yeah.
around. You finally got a bullet in there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a bear is plenty powerful. You know,
Oh, God, yes.
there. I saw something on TV last night. These Russian bears, strong. I wouldn't have believed what they trained the bears to do acrobat stunts. You know, swinging from bars and from rings. And they had to be plenty strong to do that.
Yeah.
It would have been very difficult for a man,
Yeah.
if not impossible. Did you ever have them tear the door off your storage house, or where you had food?
No,
No?
but we had an experience with a cow. She was on the range, and oh God, the grass was that high. Didn't see her from home. I was away from home, and mother was home. And mother had some pants on the window. She had a cow trimmed her head through the window. Pants up.
Yeah, right through the window of your house.
Mm-hmm.
And ate the plants in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like daisies or petunias or marigolds or
Mostly geraniums.
geraniums.
Yeah.
They like geraniums.
Yeah.
Yeah? Stuck it right through the window.
Yeah.
That didn't please your mother, did it?
See, no.
Pro- Probably laid into it with a broom, huh?
I guess so. I know I had to put a new window in when I came home.
Yeah, I put in a few too. But it wasn't because of cow. It was one of my baseballs. A baseball or a snowball or something that I chucked through the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to replace it. Yeah.
Well, our younger boy, he was batting the ball around outside in the backyard in Vancouver. And mother said to him, "Did you better bat that ball the other way?" Oh, he said, "No, I can't hit it hard enough to go through that." And the first thing he came through the window.
It leaves a funny hole too. If the window is good and solid in the sill, you know,
Yeah,
it leaves a funny hole,
yeah,
sort of rings of cracks
yeah,
all the way around that hole. Like when you drop a rock through the ice in the winter, you know, when it's just formed up on a lake. Same
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever see any elk or moose out there in that country when you were first up there around Frembd Lake?
No,
They moved in later, right?
moved in later.
Yeah.
There was lots of deer though.
A lot of deer.
Yeah,
Mule deer.
mule deer, yes.
Any whitetails?
The odd one, not many.
Yeah, yeah. They're more over towards Penticton way
Yeah,
and Summerlin.
yeah.
You lived on venison then, huh?
Yeah. And game warden says, now he says, I don't care, he says, I know you fellas are killing game out of season, he says, but don't let me catch you.
Yeah. Yeah. Who was that?
Game warden,
What do you remember his name?
Ralph Lees,
Oh, Rees.
Lee, Ralph Lee.
Ralph Lee. Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they were pretty understanding. They knew you had to live.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
How about fishing? Would they let you fish too?
Oh, yes.
That was okay anytime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have to have no license and base for fishing.
Yeah. What was your favorite way to catch them? With a worm?
Mm.
Or did you use lures or anything like that?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Then we use the grasshopper.
Yeah. Grasshoppers are
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And,
I remember when I was a kid, we'd go out and catch these grasshoppers in the morning when they were cold.
yeah.
They couldn't hop. You put them in a jar,
Yeah.
and then when you open up the jar, they hop out on you later on. They get all fired up, you know,
Yeah.
and you open up the jar and try to sneak one out. About 3 others would go sailing out through too.
Well, I found the best thing to do is to have a switch.
A switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this did jump out. Yeah.
Give them a thump. Yeah. Knock them cold for a while,
Yeah.
and then put them on. Yeah. What's the biggest trout you ever got out of Frembd Lake?
Never got any big ones out of there.
Oh, were there any in there?
Yes, they were small.
Oh.
But out of Otter Lake,
Uh huh.
got some nice ones out of there.
Yeah. Bigger body of water there.
Yeah.
It can grow a little bigger.
Yeah. And I had a spot there where we'd go and cast them with a line in
Yeah.
and fish out.
Yeah.
They were about that long.
12 inches,
Yeah.
13 inches.
Yeah.
One after the other.
Yeah.
One right after the other. Have you ever smoked things like that? Did you ever try smoking
No.
fish or deer meat?
Pickled deer meat.
You did what to it?
Pickled it.
Pickled it. How do you pickle deer meat?
Same as beef.
And you put it in a crock, do you?
Yeah.
A lot of salt.
A lot of salt.
Yeah. But it's pretty tough to eat when it's so salty, isn't it?
Well, you gotta watch that you're not putting too much salt in.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, my mother used to take them, bring them out, and put them in water for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we parboil them and fry them.
Mm-hmm. Boy, it's been too long since I've had venison. I haven't gotten one the last 2 years.
I haven't got one for the last 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, you haven't had any venison for 4 or 5 years.
No.
Yeah. Did you enjoy venison?
Yeah.
I think it's a good meat, yeah. Some people can't handle it though.
No, I know.
Something about it. I guess the tallow is what gets some people, the fat. Some
Maybe.
people bothers them, yeah. But if you clean it right, I think that's half the battle.
Oh, yes. That's any time I shot a deer, I clean them right away.
Yeah.
Get the insides out.
Mm-hmm. Make sure you get it. You know what I found was best? Put my deer in running water, icy cold mountain stream, and just let it cool off right now. You know?
Yeah.
And at the same time, it was cleaning it out as the water running
Yeah.
through there. That sure worked good. Especially if you could find a little waterfall, you know, where it fall into the body cavity there.
Yeah.
That works good. And then keep your deer hair out of there. Don't cook deer hair with your meat. Yeah.
No, but one time I was over in the field from the house about a half a mile and getting the milk cows home. And on the way home, I met a bear, a black bear, and I had the dogs with me. Of course, they treat him right away. And I shot him. He squealed and come down out of the tree and give him another shot. And I skinned him. He pushed out his castrates.
Oh, no wonder he squealed, huh?
Yeah.
That wasn't a very good shot.
No.
You were just a sort of winging lead that way, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get many bears? Did you have?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah? You've shot a lot of bear, huh? Ever find one in a den in the winter?
No, I know a fellow that did find one.
What happened?
He left it.
He didn't go in there.
No, no.
Yeah.
But I shot 2 deer one time with one shot.
Oh,
They were coming along, and one of them was ahead of the other one a little bit, just a little bit, and I shot that one through the head,
mm-hmm.
and it went through and hit the other one in the neck.
And they both dropped
Both
right
dropped
there.
Right there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But bear, well, we declared war on bear out there. They got us killing cattle. So we shot every bear we could get hold of.
Yeah, yeah. How many cattle did you run?
Oh, about 25 head.
Yeah. And how many did they kill? You
Well, I
suppose?
guess they got about 3 of mine.
Yeah, yeah. There goes the year's profits, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One put a lot 7 head one year.
Oh, gee. Yeah. They weren't grizzlies, though, were they?
No, they're black bear.
Yeah. Were no grizzlies up in that country?
Yes.
There were?
Yeah.
Oh.
I never really run into them, but I think I had one cow killed, and I think she must have been killed by grizzlies. She was a big husky cow.
It'd have been a real chore for a black bear to kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And left the cow lay, and the other bear come along and started feeding on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we get into trouble with the bear.
Yeah. The others got the taste of cow, huh?
Yeah.
That was the first one killed, huh?
Yeah.
And then the others knew the taste of cow meat. They
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah. That's generally the way, I guess. They get, they're scavengers anyway, black
Yeah.
bear, they get anything they can. Yeah. And a small cow would be no problem for a big black bear.
No.
How about cougars? Did they ever run you? You ever have any run-ins with cougars?
No, only once. There was a neighbor come down. I didn't know where my father was. A neighbor woman came down, and I was after 22 with her. And we had 22 in the house. And the dog was treated a cougar. And these 2 women, they went out and they just peppered that cougar. Finally he left.
Yeah? Did they use a shotgun or 22?
22.
Oh.
Full lead.
He probably died somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who were those ladies?
That was Mrs. Thin.
Oh yeah, from the Thin Mountain Ranch. Yeah. 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 Sounds like something Nora might do too. She was quite a gal when she was young.
Oh, yes.
She could shoot too. Did you ever get in on any of those turkey shoots with her? She went, you know, her mom had a sort of a deal every year, a turkey shoot.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to that?
Yeah.
You did? Oh. Did you shoot in it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? You ever win a turkey?
No, I didn't try for turkey. We had geese.
Oh.
And I took down 5 geese and put them up with targets.
Mm-hmm.
I went home with 5 more geese.
You did? And you got the price for your geese too? Yeah. What do you mean you went home with 5 more? I think I missed it.
I was shooting all the time, see.
Yeah.
The best shot there, I guess.
Oh, so you got the 5 geese back?
No, I didn't shoot for mine.
Oh.
Rabbits had a bunch.
Uh-huh.
Mannings.
Mannings too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't lose anything that day?
No.
You know what that brought to memory in me?
What?
One time we had a turkey shoot on here. Gun Club had a turkey shoot. And I was tied with the guy for the final, you know, the 2 of us were shooting off for the turkey.
Mhm.
The rest had been eliminated. And I forgot to load my shotgun. I put it in the chamber of this pump, put it in the magazine, but hadn't got it into the chamber. So when I went to squeeze on the clay pigeon, it went click. Then I remembered and I quickly pumped the shell in, and I had to shoot real fast, and I think I hit it, but I don't know. It hit the ground so quickly. And so I lost my turkey because I forgot to load the gun. The first shot I would have been right on, you know, because it was an easy shot.
What do you use, shotguns?
Yeah, we use shotgun
Oh, we
and
use
clay
shotgun.
pigeons. Shooting at clay pigeons. How did you do it?
Well, standing type. Use rifle.
Oh, you used a rifle. 22?
No, 30-30s.
30-30s, oh yeah. And what was the target? Regular bullseye?
Yeah, it was, well, it was up about 100 yards from the, where we were shooting.
Yeah.
And it was about 4 inches.
4-inch target, yeah. And you could hit that offhand? Shooting, standing up? Not leaning on anything? Oh, that's pretty good shooting. Would you have an old Winchester?
Savage.
Savage.
Oh,
Lever action.
yeah.
Lever action, yeah. Yeah. Some ways I think they were better than Winchesters.
I think so too. I liked them better.
Yeah. What did you like about them?
Well, the action of them.
Was smoother or more
Yeah.
positive?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would a good Savage cost in those days when you bought yours?
$60.
Yeah. Yeah. That same gun, that was a Model 99, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That Model 99 now is about $500.
You see?
Yeah. It's way more than a 30-30 Winchester. They always were more expensive
Yeah.
because they had that rotary
Yeah.
magazine in there where
Yeah.
you could load about 8 in there, wasn't it? 6 or 8 shots?
6.
6, yeah. Yeah. A friend of mine shot grizzly bear up north with one of those. He says, never again. It was too light a gun.
You have trouble with them?
Yeah, did he ever? He was up on he'd shot a caribou. He was in Alaska, and he shot this caribou. And then when he came back to get, he forgot about it. And the bear was eating the guts, and the entrails,
Yeah.
and the hide and everything that was left behind. And he stumbled on it. He forgot. And of course, he heard this growling and this commotion. The bear was disturbed. So he climbed up on a ledge, a rock ledge, and he could see the bear eating away, and he wanted the bear, so he shot. And the bear spotted where he was at, and the first shot didn't kill him. And he was using a 300 Savage. And he had to shoot it a lot of times. He says that was the worst thing he ever experienced. That bear was trying to get up the cliff at him,
Yeah.
and he was shooting away, and it seemed like the more he shot, just the madder the bear got.
Well, I know a fellow, he met a bear up in Philomene, up the river ways. The bear didn't like him. So he climbed a tree,
Mm-hmm.
because a grizzly can't climb a tree.
Oh, yeah,
And he stayed up in the tree all night.
He got a little hungry, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his name?
Bob Marks. Bob Marks.
Mice.
Marks.
Mm. He forgot his gun, obviously, when he climbed the tree. He left his gun down on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty hard to shinny up a tree with a bear after you're holding onto a gun in one hand. You enjoyed those years.
Oh God, yes.
I think it was a good time to live.
Yeah.
I think so. What did you like most about those years? Those. I imagine you were in your 20s and 30s there, huh?
Yeah, the freedom you had.
Oh?
You could do anything you wanted.
Yeah. As long as the game warden didn't see you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said to just not let him catch you.
Yeah.
So you didn't go hanging any trees, any deer in the trees at odd hours of the year, or odd times of the year?
Well, I did once. I had a young fellow staying with us. And the neighbor's boy came down.
Somebody shot a doe and two fawns?
Mm-hmm.
Was that?
That was just before the season opened.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The kids asked me what to do. I said, throw it in the hay till the morning when the place was. So the next morning, the boys climbed the tree and took a rope up and pulled the deer out. And they got the two fawns up. But the doe was a little too much.
Yeah, too heavy.
Too heavy. And run to the blacksmith shop, And went in, I went in with the deer. Boys lost their, snapped the padlock on. And we seen the car coming up the road and we just done that just emergency sake. And actually it was a game warden. And he came up and stood with his back against that door.
You were wondering if he was going to go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was locked from the outside.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't know it.
No.
Did he ever find out?
No.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you made good use of the animals, though.
Oh, yes.
They were never wasted.
No.
Yeah. That's the important thing, yeah.
No. You went out and got 2 deer and divided it up amongst the neighbors.
Yeah, yeah. You had no refrigeration,
No.
so you had to eat it pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who were your neighbors out there?
Pierce, Manning, Finns, Myron.
Did you ever know a guy by the name of Hart? H-A-R-T? Hart?
Yeah.
His ranch was a little closer to town here.
Yeah.
Out the Red Cardinal Ranch there.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a good friend of ours.
Hart was, yeah, yeah. I think he's still alive, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, because I met him over here. His wife was in the hospital for a little while. He came by. He had trouble with grizzlies too. He said
Yeah.
his cattle. But he had more trouble with poachers. He was closer to the highway.
Yeah, he was right on the highway.
And he lost animals to these poachers and to the, cattle rustlers. Cattle rustlers, yeah. Did you ever catch a cattle rustler in your days?
No.
What would have happened if you had?
I would have got shot.
Yeah. Yeah. That was your livelihood, right?
Yeah.
You guys couldn't even eat your beef. You had to shoot deer and eat those and sell the beef to get money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would a good cow go for in those days? You know, like say 1935 or maybe I picked a bad time. That was the Depression.
Maybe $60.
$60 for a cow.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a 600 or 700 pound cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get closer to 500 now. You get about $500 for a cow now. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, she opened that one and the other one opened up. Did you raise a family?
No,
You
just
didn't?
myself.
Just yourself?
Yeah.
You batched it?
Yeah. Well, my mother was lived with me. So
Oh, yeah.
she was 10 days out from my 90th birthday.
Yeah. How old are you? if I might ask?
88.
You're gonna tire, at least. Yeah. You look like you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I am accepting it. I got a stroke last winter.
Oh,
The knee is,
that's stiff. Your knee is stiff.
well, no, but it seems to, the bone seems to jump out.
Oh. Up to then, did you walk all the time?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Were you raised with brothers and sisters?
No.
You were an only
I'm
child.
the only child.
Yeah.
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 2 boys. One of them is in Westlands driving on them big trucks. The other one is a computer man.
And those boys are related.
Hmm.
How are they related to you?
They're my boys.
Oh, you were married.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yes.
oh, oh. Oh, yeah. Computers. That's pretty good
Yeah.
for this
Well,
time.
he travels all over the world now.
Yeah. And of course, his name is Frembd too.
Yeah.
I'll bet he has some stories to tell him about his dad, where his dad was raised, huh? I always think of that, you know. My grandfather was raised in Norway. Came over from Norway, and he was a commercial fisherman. And where yours came from Bellingham. That was your dad.
Yeah.
Came from Bellingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was German in the first place.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So they'd settled in the States from Germany,
Yeah.
in Washington State.
Well, yes, he wound up in Washington State. The rest of the boys stayed back east.
Oh. Yeah. I was raised in Minnesota,
And so,
in the Midwest there, yeah.
my mother was from Minnesota,
Your mother is? Oh.
St. Paul.
Have you ever heard of Duluth?
Yeah.
That's where I was raised. That's 150 miles northeast of St. Paul, yeah. There's a lot of people in this area from Minnesota. The more I find, you know, there's quite a few.
Mhm.
Of course, I guess it takes a tough Minnesotan to live here in the winter.
Well, we can't think about this winter. can we?
No, no. But they were harder in the old days.
I'd
The
say-
climate was harsher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One winter, my father went down to Headley. This didn't happen in Headley.
Mhm.
He went down there to work. He said, as soon as I get things straightened out, I'll send up for you. So our neighbors came down, came in, and said, come on, get ready, we're going down to Brandon Church to dance. There was about a foot of snow on the ground. It snowed all that night. And we were 12 miles from Brandon. It took them all that day to get home to our place. They stayed overnight there and took them all the next day to make the next 4 miles.
Wow. That's the horses. And a cutter? And a sled, yeah. Did you have enough food? Or did-
Oh yes, we used to send down to Woodward's for winter supply.
Buy it by the cases, huh?
Yeah,
Get a ton in at a time.
we drove to it.
Yeah, yeah. What was your favorite? You know what Nora used to do? I'll tell on Nora a little bit. They used to have that Hudson Bay post out there, you know,
Yeah,
a trading post.
yeah,
And so they would buy canned goods like you did, buy the, you know, the case loads.
yeah.
And they'd hide them underneath the steps in the old ranch house there, you know, at Brewers, where Brewers are now.
Mhm.
And she'd sneak in there and get plums and peaches. She liked that dried fruit stuff that they
Yeah.
got, yeah. What was your favorite?
I don't know really, I can't say that, like them all. But the best berry that I ever tasted was the thimbleberry.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what they are,
You know them?
yeah. Yeah, we used to make pea shooters out of the stalk.
Mhm.
You know, shoot peas, dried peas and stuff. Yeah, they get a nice big orange-red berry.
Yeah,
Nice big one. Looks like a big raspberry.
yeah.
Oh.
They're awful sweet.
Yeah, and you like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
there isn't very many of them around, they're just the odd place
Yeah.
where they grow.
they liked it where it was damp,
Yeah,
along a stream.
yeah,
Right. I always found them there, those places.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, about those canned goods though, would they can salmon and tuna in those days?
No, we didn't bother about that.
Yeah.
So we had all the fish we wanted, all
Oh.
the meat we wanted.
Yeah. So you just got vegetables and fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had a good sized garden. That full of us through for the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. You ate a lot of potatoes?
Yeah.
That's what they in Norway. That's what they raise, potatoes.
Yeah.
And where I grew up, they said they could grow two things. In northern Minnesota, they grew only two things. The soil was so poor. One was potatoes, and the other was kids. Those were the two best crops where I grew up. Yeah. Oh, they raised some sweet turnips, rutabaga,
Yeah.
and they raised carrots. But you couldn't raise anything where I grew up that was going to take too long to grow. It had to. You couldn't raise sweet corn, for example, or pumpkins, or melons, or anything like that. And you were awful lucky if you raised any tomatoes. Tomatoes were hard to raise. Did you raise those when you were?
Once in a while, I had a few.
But the frost would get.
Frost.
Yeah, yeah.
I seen the frost where we live down here, for instance, on the 1st of July.
Really? What year would that be?
About 40.
40, yeah. Does your family still have the Frembd Ranch?
No,
That was,
we sold that.
yeah.
See, we sold it, we get the kids, the oldest boy was getting off for school age, and I was having him ride 5 miles a day in winter time to school and go to school with it and move down to Vancouver.
Yeah. And that's where you started carpentering.
Well, I was fairly handy anyway.
Oh, you mentioned a blacksmith. Did you do blacksmithing?
Yeah,
Yeah?
well, you had to do everything at that.
Made your own horseshoes and,
Shod my own horses.
yeah. Could you forge weld? Were you able to forge weld? To put two pieces of metal together and forge weld them?
Mhm.
Yeah. So if you had it all to do over again, you'd go back out there and live your early
Yeah.
manhood out there again.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever have any close calls with fire? Your buildings?
Once. The lurch had lucky thing about it because there was snow on the roof. The roof caught fire. And another fellow staying with us. And got the fire out right away and touched the roof off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It could be bad if you only had one building and you had a fire in the winter, right?
Yeah,
If you had another cabin to go to and your main house went down, you could live.
yeah.
But if it was the only building, your main house went, you were in trouble, weren't you?
I knew an old fellow up there. I didn't really know him. But, he had a place building up in Love. Got lost. And found him, he was frozen sick. And the cabin that he had was collapsed.
His cabin collapsed
Yeah.
and he'd had to leave it.
Well, he went out hunting
Uh-huh.
and he kind of got lost or something. I had quite a time finding him too.
Did you find him?
No. No, I was just before my time really. I was only a little kid then.
Yeah. Well, are you getting tired?
No.
I am. You got more stamina than I do. What was your horse's name? Can you remember the horse's name? Or did you have a bunch of them?
We had 4 or 5 of them. Duke and Don, and Nig, Tom. And the saddle horses. Old Baldy. He was white-faced. He was a miserable. And he shook his head that way. He was all right. He was
Yeah.
good for the day. But he shook his head.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
It was like he was saying yes or no. Don't get on me today.
Yeah.
Yeah?
If you got on him, you had to ride.
You did have a ride, huh? I suppose you got dumped by him a few times then, huh?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. Anybody ever get hurt?
No.
That's what I can't figure out. How come in the old days guys got thrown off these horses and everything, they never got hurt?
No, they get bruised up a bit, but nothing serious.
Yeah, no broken bones.
No.
Why? Do you know Harold Allison, or did you know him? He had one devil of a horse, I'll tell you. Somebody had shot off of him. So his sons took me deer hunting up on Deer Mountain over there by Lodestone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that horse, I got on him with my rifle on my back. That horse went crazy. He was bouncing around and my rifle was hitting me in the back, you know, I had it on a sling. That butt just about broke my back, you know, kept hitting me there. So I knew I was in trouble because I couldn't get it off. It was firmly around me, my heavy winter clothes, you know. So I jumped. I was taking too much of a beating, so I got off that horse. I just jumped right off. But the minute he saw that I had a rifle, that was the end of that ride. Boy, he didn't want any part of me.
Well, 2 saddle horses that I had to shoot off of them.
You could shoot off
Oh,
them.
yes.
Well, that's unusual. I would think that they would. They were trained. What did you start off with? 22s and then work up to bigger guns?
Yes. Ordinary 30-30s.
Yeah. Is that the gun you used all the time? 30-30?
Yeah.
Shoot grouse too?
Well, if I was lucky enough to shoot the head off of them.
Yeah.
No, but I was out one time up in the hill above the house, the ranch. I ran into a bunch of grouse. I was picking them off and way up high in a tree. And then there was one down on the ground, and I thought, oh, he's easy money. I could have fired about 15 shots at him, never hit him.
That, of course, was a 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get expensive if you shot 15 rounds of a 30-30 at one grouse.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you guys ever reload your own ammunition?
No.
No, you always bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started reloading for my 30-06. It's getting so now that it's almost 80 cents a shot for the 30-06. For one bullet, 80 cents. So I decided I'd load my own.
Yeah.
What was the best shot you ever made? Can you think back to when you made a really good shot?
I don't know. Made something that I don't know, but I seen the fella. They were riding up the road. You know where Thin Lake is?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just got to the foot of the lake. And then way up at the other end, there was a coyote crossing. And this kid that was with me, he jumped off the horse and fired, knocked him down.
With a 30-30.
Yeah.
That's good shooting.
But
Yeah, that is. You'd have to hold a little high at that
Yeah.
range. And pretty good guesswork.
No, I never changed the sights on my gun. I just took a chance.
When you bought it, it was okay, and you just left it that way, huh?
Yeah.
I think that's, and you never used a scope, always iron sights.
All the iron sights.
Yeah. I think a guy'd be wise to solder his sight solid, so it could never be moved. Get used to it, get it right where you want it, and then solder it right in place. Because so many times, you loan your gun to somebody else and they change that dumb sight.
Well, I never left my gun out to anybody.
You didn't.
No.
Well, that's a good idea too. I lost some animals because a guy changed my scope on me once and I didn't know it. He never said anything. One was a great big fat lynx cat. That was a nice animal. And I didn't get him because of that.
Well, talking about lynx, we early in the morning the dogs were raising hell outside. And so I heard that and dressed and went out. And here they had a lynx cat up a tree right by the house.
Mm-hmm. Did you get him?
Yeah.
Did you sell the pelt?
Yeah, I guess $15 for it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, yeah. You want to hear something funny? I was going down the highway over by Rock Creek with my car, and a mink came running out. And he went across the road, and the car in front of me just sort of hit him on the hindquarters. But it was enough, you know, a car and a mink. So he was stopped on the road, and he was sort of trying to crawl to the edge. So I stopped, and then I backed up. And I killed the mink. He was going to suffer, you know. So
Yeah.
I killed the mink, and when I got through, I thought, well, I might as well bring him along. I know a trapper up here, so I brought him to that trapper. That was the easiest mink I ever got. I used to trap when I was a kid, you know,
Yeah.
and so it was pretty hard to catch a mink.
Mm-hmm.
There
Yeah,
weren't-
it is.
There are not many of them.
No. You know, I've got several, maybe half a dozen.
Yeah.
And I found the hardest thing to trap is the otter.
Oh, huh? Yeah. They're hard to hold, aren't they? You can get them in the trap, but to keep them in there.
Yeah.
What size did you use? What size trap? 4s or 3s?
3 or 4, I forget what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. How did you set for an otter?
Well, this happened to be, I set for a mink,
Oh, gee.
and he got into the trap.
Boy, you were lucky to hold him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he drug the trap quite a ways with him.
You could see where he'd gone, huh?
Yeah.
And you followed him up. Where was that? At your place there at the
Yeah.
ranch?
Yeah.
You didn't see many otters, did you?
No.
Yeah.
Beaver were plentiful there.
I never liked beaver. They were too hard to skin.
Yeah, they're hard to skin.
Oh, gee, they're hard to skin. I'd take a muskrat or a weasel any day over a beaver for. Yeah.
No, the beaver is more like a pork. It's the fat adheres to the skin.
Mm-hmm. Every single inch you have to cut loose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I used to get a better food with beaver.
You did. How many would you catch in a year?
Oh, maybe a dozen.
You would. And maybe $10 each?
About that.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know that in 1958, you're still getting about $10 each? You know the long hair and the short hair?
Yeah.
They went from long-haired animals like coyotes and fox to short-haired animals like muskrats and weasels and mink. So the beaver weren't worth anything anymore. Just real cheap. You could get a lot for an otter, but you couldn't get much for a beaver.
These things they used to trap too.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure let you know where they are. No question, you find the slides.
Yeah. And find for the working
But did you ever trap them on land? Or always in the water?
in the water.
Yeah.
I used to take my trap and fed in about that much water.
Uh-huh, yeah.
And last night or something. You couldn't get into that trap and tried to get away and drown.
Yeah, yeah. We always tried to set ours, you know how their front legs are real small?
Yeah.
Little tiny front legs?
Yeah.
Their back legs are strong and big. We tried to set so they'd snap on their back leg. You catch them on the front leg and they'd often get away. You know, they twist loose. I don't know if you found that out.
No.
No, you didn't have that trouble, huh?
No.
And we take a gunny sack, regular ordinary gunny sack,
Yeah.
and fill it with rocks and tie a piece of, well, it was telephone wire.
Yeah.
Tie that on the sack and then tie the other end of the chain of the trap. And then they'd sort of pull it out, bounce it out, and then when they got in deep water they'd get stuck. They couldn't hold it up.
Yeah.
And you'd find them. But the one otter we got, jeepers, we got one and he really tore things up. He had that piece of metal all twisted up like one of those door springs that shuts the door, and he was a mile downstream. Oh, they're powerful. An otter is a strong animal. Yeah.
Well, I've seen the odd otter, but not many.
Yeah, they're scarce, yeah.
Yeah.
One time I saw a family of them playing. You know, the mother and the two young.
Yeah.
That was fun to watch. Yeah. they're making lots of noise out there and it's all going on here. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I got to go home and start supper for my son. So why don't I come back and visit you again sometime?
Sure.
And we'll talk again.
Sure.
Yeah. Because I've enjoyed it. Yeah. Brings back some memories for me too, although mine don't go back as far as yours.
No,
Yeah.
I'm 88.
Yeah, and I'm 46. So you're 42 years older than me. Hard to believe. Okay, so this is March 5th now? March 5th, 1984. We'll close for now then.